huge. I'm just gonna do this the whole time I'm recording. Okay. No, the camera died, and then I was like, oh, it's freaking cold in here because it's 50 degrees in Georgia right now, and it is October and fall has officially arrived, but bitch, can I get a warning? Like, it opened the door and said, I have arrived, bitch. Like, no, no ring on the doorbell, no nothing, no call, no text saying I'm about to pull up, no nothing. Like, bitch, I'm here, get ready. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about when I initially grabbed my camera and was about to start talking. I have not expressed openly about the things that I have been going through personally. And I think that's partly that's my fault, and I just felt more secure in not saying anything about it, because partly if I don't say anything about it, it's almost like it doesn't exist in a way. For those of you who do not know, for people that just subscribed to my channel and don't know me on a personal level, I have older parents. My mom actually had a stroke, and following that stroke she had to have brain surgery because sometimes after stroke the brain is in so much trauma that the brain does not know how to heal properly, and then sometimes the brain does things that is just unpredictable. And she had a brain bleed, and she had to be rushed to the hospital, and she had to have emergency brain surgery following just having a stroke. So imagine going through having a stroke, trying to regain strength in one side of your body, then having to immediately go under the knife to have brain surgery. It was only in the span of about 3 months because she had the stroke in January. She was recovering from it in January and February. March. Well, no. Not. Let me clarify. This was not this year. This was last year. So last year in January, she had the stroke, and then a couple months later, she had to have brain surgery. And I was in summer school, and I just remember being under this immense pressure to go home. And no matter what, throughout the entire process, my mom was like, no. And my mom and my dad, my aunt, and everybody else was just like, no, you don't need to go home. And I'm getting emotional thinking about it right now. Even though it was so long ago, I'm still getting emotional. When I was going through that, my mom and my parents and everybody was always very supportive of me finishing school. And I was like, I just feel so selfish. Like my mom is literally having the hardest time of her life right now. And I can't even be there for her because I'm obligated to this that I signed up for. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish summer school, I'm gonna go home when I can, and I'm gonna stay on track to graduate. Long story short, my mom got better and she woke up from surgery, and waking up from surgery was only half the battle. Because the true test would, if anybody knows about brain surgery, as you can probably guess, is that you don't know how the brain is affected when you cut it open. Like, and when you cut the skull open and then you poke and probe around in there to like make sure that everything's okay, you don't really know what's gonna happen. And I remember sitting in the ICU in tears because all I could see was her laying in a hospital bed, helpless, me being helpless, tubes running from her, machines running, and I couldn't do anything to help her. That was one of the worst feelings of my life, I think. And I was just so upset, and I didn't know what to do. Fast forwarding, after she leaves the ICU, she's in a regular hospital room, and she obviously does not remember stuff. She's having a hard time recalling her memory and how things happen. She's not remembering certain events. She's not remembering certain people. She's forgetting names, like association with faces. She's forgetting, which is understandable. But again, you have to realize that you're seeing your mom not. I'm seeing my mom not be able to remember certain people, and it's kind of like, oh wow, like this really happened. Like it's all very eye-opening to me, all at the same time. It was a very difficult time. And I'm able to control my emotions now because, mind you, this was a year ago, and I didn't have time to process all of that. I was not, if I was having this conversation on camera a year ago, I just would not, it would not be as pretty as it is right now. We move forward. She begins to heal. She goes into rehab, and she continues to go into rehab. I graduate from college. My mom and my dad were at graduation. And if you haven't noticed, but my parents are things on my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and stuff like that that I just don't post. Not because I'm embarrassed. Everything that I have is because of them. Everything, I can't point out one thing in my life that I have or I have had that I would have now had I not had them. If that makes sense. Like, I am a product of them. I am who I am because of them. So I'm not embarrassed of them in the least bit. But I am very protective of them, and I don't want anything to happen to them. Moving forward, she continues to go into rehab, and she is now in a rehab facility where there is round-the-clock care and people are taking care of her. And even when graduation was approaching, I always thought, like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna move home? No. That was my initial thought. I'm not moving home because LaGrange, Georgia has always been a place for me that just did not seem feasible. It didn't sound good. I didn't like it. It didn't fit into my plan. It did not fit into my plan of where I saw myself after graduation. And I say all this to say that God's plan is 10 times bigger than your plan. Because no matter what you think you're going to do with your life, God can come in an instance and like sweep all that up and just be like, no, that's not what's happening. I've always in the back of my head thought that I was very selfish for moving to Atlanta, knowing that my parents were only an hour away, but still very much needed my presence and my help. Mind you, I have brothers and sisters, but they have a family of their own. They have families of their own. And not to say that it should solely be on me, but I should definitely be playing a part in taking care of my parents and making sure that they're doing well and just helping them as much as I can while I still have them. And so I always thought that I was being a bit selfish by moving here in LaGrange and moving here to Atlanta without even considering that my parents may very well need me. I've come to the conclusion that I need to move home, and I kind of have to move home. And I'm not saying that this is the reason why I'm moving home, because even though, like I said, selfishly, I would still stay here knowing all these things. And y'all are probably thinking like, damn, JT, that's fucked up. But like I said, moving to LaGrange was never a plan of mine. That was not something that I had planned whatsoever, even before my mom got sick. When my mom was sick, yes, that was definitely a plan. Like, I was considering dropping out of school. I talked to my friends about it. I was like, listen, I think I have to come home. And I talked to my friends, I talked to my family, and they were like, no. Like, even though your mom's going through this right now, she would definitely not want you to stall your schooling for her. She would not want that. And that's just the type of mother she is. She always wanted me to go to college and graduate. So after graduating, the plan was to move to Atlanta and just start working and live in this apartment and just live life in Atlanta with my best friend, with Aaron, with all my friends from Georgia Southern, meet new friends, prosper, okay? That was the plan. And this just goes back to say, with whatever God has planned for you, just whenever he reveals it to you, just embrace it, because listen, you don't have any other option. I have been in Atlanta now for 3 months, going on 4 months. I moved here in June, July, I think. I honestly don't even remember. I think it was June. I graduated in May, so I went home for a month, and I moved in June, late June. So July, August, September, October. It's now almost 4 months, because at the end of, well, maybe like next week, it'll be 4 months. I have been living in Atlanta. I have been on countless interviews. Countless. I've applied for hundreds of jobs, and I have not landed one. I have not landed one job. And y'all are probably thinking like, dang, JT, are you like a bad interviewer? Can you not present yourself well? Like, what are you doing? And granted, these are all questions that I was asking myself, because I'm like, well, dang, JT, like, are you not talking to these people well? Is your resume not good enough? Are you not dressed well enough? Like, what is the problem? So I went over my resume. It's great. My friend helped me with it, and he does amazing work. Like, he has gotten people countless jobs. He's gotten a great job himself. I have a tailored suit with dress shoes. So that's not it. I'm speaking to you on camera, and you can understand what I'm saying very clearly. I speak very well. I'm a well-spoken young man. I don't have tattoos on my face or on my neck. Like, I don't know what it is other than God just does not want me to be here. Even when I moved, and I'm pretty sure that I said this in my move-in vlog, that I moved to Atlanta on a hope and a prayer. Like, I literally moved here stepping out on faith. After graduation, I said that I was stepping out on faith and moving to Atlanta no matter what. And that's what I did. I'm going to say that it was a learning experience. The time that I have been here in this apartment, I have not only been miserable because I haven't been able to leave, and I've only been consumed with finding a job, that I have lacked the passion I have lost and not possessed the passion to do anything. I have lost the passion to even continue to be inspired by fashion or anything that I see or anything that I hear. Like, nothing. For example, I find myself listening to music. Listening to music, and I would immediately skip it because nothing even moved me anymore. And I was realizing that you're paying all this money to living in a place where you're not even inspired. Like, even that alone should be enough for you to move. And I'm not trying to make this an emotional video, but I find myself tearing up because this is an emotional topic. And I'm saying that I'm not trying to make this an emotional video because I watch YouTube videos all the time where people are crying, especially like beauty gurus, and I'm just like, oh my God, stop with the tears. I don't want this to be a pity party. There are seriously people going through much more traumatic things than this. Because I very well knew that me moving to Atlanta could end in me failing. And if you are not prepared to fail in any situation, you are not prepared to succeed. And that's another very important lesson that I have become to learn. That's just like, if you are willing to do anything and you're willing to stick your neck out and you're going into this is just an example. If you're going into a boardroom and you're going to pitch your idea, you have to build the confidence and the strength to be able to be told no before you even step foot into that boardroom. Because if not, you're going to leave that boardroom feeling defeated and you're not going to want to step into another boardroom ever again. And that's just not how we're supposed to live and we're supposed to move through life. That's just the way it goes and that's just the way it is. But I just wanted to share that little tad bit with y'all because I have not uploaded a video on YouTube since then. Since my empty apartment tour. And not much has changed now. I have a bed and I have living room furniture and a washer and dryer. But that's really about it. Like, there's not much to see. I literally just graduated from college and I thought the first thing that I thought to do was move to Atlanta and have bills to pay. Like, that was the first thing that I thought that I had to do because that was the adult life thing. But maybe I just was not ready for that. Just the way the cookie crumbles. So, enough about that. Let me hop off that soapbox and let me just, you know. You're right. Let me stop playing. I can't fight. But what I was about to say was I'm going to Savannah this weekend to see one of my really, really good friends, Jasmine. I don't think y'all have ever seen her on my vlog before, actually. But I'm going to Savannah because she's having a baby shower. She's having a baby, which is freaking monumental for her because this is just amazing. It's just amazing. She is going to meet an amazing mother and I just know that this is going to be such a monumental thing for her and I'm so happy for her. She's truly blessed and that just makes me so happy. I was actually in Savannah last weekend for Destiny, who is my old roommate. Her daughter Dakota, which is just a doll in herself. Her first birthday party was last week. That was not last week. That was a couple weeks. I think probably like 2 weeks ago. And I was in Savannah a couple weeks ago for that. And that was a really good time. But I did not vlog because again I was still working through this revelation of mine. And listen, when you have a come to Jesus moment, it's something that you just really have to just hone into and just deal with and ride the wave. I've been saying that a lot lately because that's just the way life goes. You just have to ride the wave. And yeah. So going to Savannah today. I'm actually leaving today, actually. And I'm going to be there for a couple of days. We are having our baby shower tomorrow. My friend's Bree's birthday, who is in Savannah as well, her birthday was yesterday, and she's doing something for her birthday all weekend. She's supposed to be going to my favorite brunch place of all time, Ordinary Pub, which is downtown Savannah. If you're ever in Savannah, you have to go to Ordinary Pub on a Saturday or Sunday because they have $10 mimosas and they're bottomless. What place do you know has bottomless mimosas for $10? Let me know. Especially not in this place called Atlanta where everything is fucking expensive. Let me tell you something. $10 mimosas is thebomb.com. And they not no weak mimosas either. You gonna be lit, I promise you. So if you ever in Savannah, check out Ordinary Pub. It's really small, intimate. The food is also really good. So don't just go there trying to get fucked up. You gotta eat too. So we're probably gonna go there on Saturday. I hope she made reservations because they're probably gonna be busy. And the nightlife, we're probably gonna go out, hit some bars, and you know, do some stuff and whatnot. Probably get a little wasted. I just wanted everybody to know that everything does not work out all the time. And I didn't want to play into this stigma that I only put the nice stuff on Instagram nice stuff on Instagram and Twitter, because we all go through shit. Like, we all go through something. We all have our demons, and we all have trials and tribulations that we have to go through. But just don't hold on to them. Don't, because it's not worth it. Just don't. Because we all get depressed and we are all unhappy at times, but it's not forever. That very cliche quote, trouble don't last always, is literally true. Like, it's cliche because people say it so often, but it's very true. It's very true. And I don't want anybody to think that just because your temporary feelings and your temporary setting and your way of life is permanent, because nothing is, and you just have to continue to work through things. So I just wanted to share that message, and I just wanted people to know that it's gonna be okay.
It's a dynamite.